healthcare. Oh, and if they say convenience could make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. And that is JP Mega, 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 Mega. Your one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun with your daughter or with your son. We cater to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, JP Mega, 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 Mega. Your one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Bring papa and mama along. We cater to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. Purchase 6 or more of any item and you automatically qualify for a discount. Check us out at the Mega Store in Funkole where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Megas, the best family shopping experience.
A pleasant good morning to you. I know that I have been missed. It's been 3 weeks that I have not been here at the studios of QFM, but I am alive. I am alive and I'm well. I am quite sure that if something bad had happened to me, you would have heard it. So your partner is doing well, and I'm back here on Health Vibes and feeling good to be back here after almost 3 weeks. It seemed like it was vacation, but truly it wasn't. I was working behind the scenes,
I know.
Did you miss me?
Carlton, good morning to you. Good morning to our listeners, our Health Vibes listeners. Carlton, yes, you were missed. But Carlton, you had to wait for me to tell you that. You cannot say that from the beginning like that. You have to wait. You have to wait, you have to wait. But yes, Carlton, yes, indeed. You are always missed when you're not on the airwaves. I know our listeners kept saying, but where is Carlton now? Where is Carlton? But we tried our best to keep them held down. But I know they missed you too.
Definitely. So again, it's really a pleasure to be back here on Health Vibes. It's a beautiful day here in Dominica. Quite sunny on the outside. I mean, many people are like, wow, another day of sun again.
Of heat.
Another day of heat. But we're here. We're here. And I think it's similar in most of the Caribbean islands at this time. That it's hot and it's maybe a bit humid in some aspect of it. But we're happy to be on the land of the living.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
This morning, I sincerely want to thank the many people who turned up to our 5th edition of the National Wellness 5K Run. It was a great success. We ran this year for sickle cell anemia and diabetes mellitus. It was really, really good. Though the sun was really, really brutal to most of us, particularly under the Mont Daniel Cliff. But we survived and we made it to the finish line. I did that run. Let me see if I can get into my records, Trudy. I did that run in 30. I think if it were not for the sun, I would have done better. But I did that run.
The sun slowed you down a bit.
Yes. I did that run in 37 minutes and 6 seconds. Yeah, it's right here. I did that run in that space of time.
37 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes. So it's
from Massac to Lindo Park.
Yes, I did that run in that time. And listen, if the sun was, if let us say it was about 5 o'clock, I believe I would have done way better. Maybe you'd finish that run in 27 minutes.
How did the other people do? What was the general feedback? Did everybody make it?
Everybody made it.
Everybody made it. Okay.
One of the moments that I will never forget is the father who came with his baby on the prom. Toddler on the prom.
I saw.
And yes, and he persevered and they got to the finish line.
Nice.
And Daddy Chess and his daughter.
Yes, I saw him as well.
Yes, so it was really, really good. It was really good. And next year, if God spares, we are going to be running for cancer.
Okay.
All types of cancer. And so we've asked people to get ready. What we've decided to do is to make the run stationary. positioned as the last Saturday of April. Every
Okay. So
April,
annually, last
yes,
Saturday
the
of
last
April.
Saturday in
Okay.
April. So you
Okay.
would know well. Every April, the last Saturday is
Is the
yes,
5K
the
run.
5K run. Yes.
Nice. Nice.
And the people are saying because of the time of year, maybe we should begin at 4 o'clock or 4:30 because
Of the
listen,
sun, the heat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we will take all these notes and we'll
I can say, I thought about coming at least towards the end to just, take a little bit of the run in. I had promised Justin for that last week
Yes.
on air. But Carlton, when I stepped out on Saturday afternoon, it felt like a pure furnace. So I agree. Maybe a later start, when you maybe can catch the sun setting. That would maybe ease up on the heat factor for the runners.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And again, we could not have done it without our corporate friends and sponsors. We had the National Bank of Dominica, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, Central Cooperative Credit Union, MO News, the Republic Bank, QFM, the big station. We've also gotten pledges from the Football Association as well, Dominica Football Association. They have also pledged their support. Fax as well for the retired
Yes, home for the
you
aged.
know.
Yes.
And so we really want to thank the sponsors that came on board. Lindo Park, it's a committee there that manages the park. We want to thank them so much for always giving us the access to the park, and we made sure we kept it clean and left it clean on the day of the run. So we really want to thank these partners this year.
Carlton, and I also saw a Special Olympics
Yes,
group made a
yes,
donation.
yes, they
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yes, we really want to thank Mr. Irish and the Special Olympians, for really being part of the 5K run this year. It was really a success. It was a good success.
I'm happy.
It was a good success. Unfortunately, we did not see the police.
Okay.
They were supposed to have been with us, and we didn't see them. We went on.
Okay.
Last year was the same thing, although we called on Saturday, but we didn't see the traffic police.
Okay.
So I don't know if something happened and they could not have made it, but
But
nevertheless,
thank God you had no
incident-free.
incident-free.
It was
Yes, no
good.
incident.
And Mr. Irish was with us, and so yeah, we were good.
Carlton, I also saw, some doctors take part as well. I
Yes.
saw Dr. Natasha Esprit, Maxime Esprit. So I was happy to see the medical.
Yes, Dr. Lisa Jolie.
Yes, Dr.
was there
Jolie,
as
right.
well.
So happy to see the medical turnout as well, medical fraternity, I would say.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. So all in all, it was a good success. I hope next year we will have much more people, seeing that we are going to be doing cancer next year. So what are we going to do now? It's 25 minutes after the hour of 10 Eastern Caribbean time. We're going to take a short break, and then we will get into our discussion for today.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango, with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
I woke up this morning feeling real stink. I had intentions to call in sick, but I end up in Jolly's Pharmacy. And down the street, Jolly's fix up my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong, now I'm ready to work and take on any mission. If you see me walking, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one. Jolly's walking. We cater for everyone. Jolly's walking. Boost up your immune system, Jolly's what you. Yeah. Yo, Dominic, it's your boy Father Fox. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
So we're back with you this morning on Health Vibes. As you know, it is the number one health talk show on Dominica, and we always, we're always happy to have you tune on. We have so many fans who listen to us every
Oh,
Wednesday,
yes.
and they say that they meet me. I'm sure that they do truly as well,
Yes.
and they say that they listen and
Ca-
they listen attentively too.
Correct. And I wanted to, I forgot to do that earlier, but shout out the men who listen to Health Vibes and have discussions about the show at the domino table. I got that, report that, some domino fanatics, are avid listeners of Health Vibes, and the domino table becomes the Health Vibes table. So good morning to you, gentlemen, that always listen and tune in to Health Vibes.
Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Well, truly, I was home as well because my daughter was sick, and so I spent a few days with her. But whilst home, I was looking at television, looking at some of the daytime talk shows and so forth, and I was looking at the talk. And there was this very interesting question that was raised by the host, and each panelist gave their view about it, and the audience members as well. They gave their perspective. But I felt that this was a very provocative uh, subject matter. But the question itself, I felt it was very broad in terms of the perspectives and some of the answers that were given. And I felt, okay, let's look at that same question from the Dominican context and see what our listeners may have to say about it, what you have to say about it, what I want to say about it as well. And the question is, can a committed relationship survive without sex? Can a committed relationship survive without sex? What do you think?
A committed. Was there any other, committed relationship, man and woman committed
Yes,
relationship,
yes, man and
committed
woman,
relationship at
committed
what stage of
relationship.
life? All those added things could help. A committed relationship can can exist without sex. I think depending on what stage of life it may be. But so I think that question has multiple
That's
possibilities.
true.
I think maybe for I think committed relationships do require intimacy, but that intimacy could change in what it is throughout life. So possibly, there is a change in expectation of intimacy throughout life and throughout commitment. But I definitely think intimacy is required. It's just what stage are you at, and what type of intimacy are you experiencing? Is the intimacy or the sex more of a less of a physical as you maybe proceed, or does it continue to be that way? I think it's an important aspect of the relationship, but I do think that a relationship could survive without it. I am thinking too, what if there is a medical condition that prevents particular forms of sexual intimacy, but the relationship survives based on, emotional and other connections. So that question can go many different ways, but I'm thinking of the exceptions and how a relationship could survive in some exceptions that would prevent that sex or that physical intimacy that you might be referring to. Carlton, I don't know what the panelists on the show that you were looking at, what their take was, but I think before I jump into maybe the traditional aspect of a relationship, I got into in my mind some other scenarios that might exist in a relationship with some disability, physical disability, relationship maybe that is at the latter stage of life, towards the end of life. Yeah, they're different. They're different angles.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I like your perspective because most of what you said in terms of content, some of the panelists shared
Mention
similar.
that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I am of the opinion as well that a relationship can survive without sexual activity,
Mm.
but it begins with um, both individuals having an agreement or almost similar thoughts. So there, the communication must be part and parcel of that decision. And the question
Mm.
is, what would have caused the decision, as you mentioned? Was there sex before? And did life situations or issues relating to the body alter
Or
what could have occurred?
yeah, or
There
even
was also
distance too, Carlton, because I'm thinking of
right.
people who are in long distance relationships and the relationship is maintained regardless of their distance and sometimes for years of not being in the same physical space. And
Mhm.
therefore, that definition of sex or physical intimacy for that particular committed couple is very different. It's not, it might be something virtual, but it's not
Mhm.
an actual physical act,
Mhm.
and I know relationships that do survive in that regard. So,
Right.
what do we say for those?
Yeah, because as you said, someone could be incarcerated, someone could have migrated
Mm-hmm.
for maybe for work purposes or for studies. Someone may be ill too.
Mm-hmm.
There could be several factors, but even to add to that, culture could
Mm-hmm.
also be culture and religious
Mm-hmm.
beliefs could also be factors in
Yes,
some
yes,
cultures
yes.
or religious beliefs that could also be they could also lend the support to the argument that some relationships can survive without actual sex. Because if you look at um, some of the older couples, they would say to you that they are now friends. They are
Mm.
now basically um, partners. They do the traditional things. They will hug. They will sleep together. They will cuddle, but not necessarily have sex. And their relationships are often very very strong. So I think it is one that may have so many contours in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it is one that you there may be factors that are preventing the couple from executing or wanting to have sex. I don't know what our callers may want
Yeah,
to
sort of.
relate into that, and I already see we have a caller already on this morning. Let's hear what this caller has to say.
Yes, caller, good
Good
morning.
morning to you, caller.
Greetings.
Greetings to you. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
All right. Two things. I'm just listening to, maybe it's a little bit delayed of the conversation, so I may be late. But two things I think are crucial here to define what you mean by committed relationship and what you mean by sex, because there's all kinds of sex these days. Sex is just not
Black and white.
penetration or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that those things need to be defined for us, for our community, what we're talking about. Because committed relationships, what does that mean? What does that really mean? Okay, thanks.
Yes, and he has some very good points. But from the context of the question, it was penetrative sex
Mm-hmm.
and committed relationship, meaning you and I are intimately involved, and it's just the two of us.
Yeah, that's what I tried to ask that at the start, Carlton, because I really because a committed relationship, is it a marriage? Is there some legal commitment? Is it just a verbal commit? I mean, because the commitment can be varied as
That's
well.
true.
Commitment can be varied as well. I think within the confines of marriage, the discussion could be different, or within the confines of, let's say, just a mutual understanding of a commitment that hasn't been legalized or formalized, the conversation can be different. So yeah, commitment is tricky. The word commitment is tricky, especially in the modern day. What
Uh-huh.
what exactly is the level of commitment to which we're speaking of? So I the caller, that's a definite impactful consideration for that conversation.
Yeah, they're looking at the concepts and looking at, because again, it was a very broad question that was asked, and that's why there was varied perspectives on it. Because again, what is commitment and what is sex?
Yeah, because you see, like you spoke about religious beliefs. So, for instance, if two people are in a committed relationship and they're not married, certain religions would, not certain, I think the majority would
Mhm.
say that you're not supposed to be involved in penetrative sex without a marriage, that level of commitment. But the two people who are involved would say they are committed to each other. They are maybe en route to marriage, maybe they've been together for a few years or so on. But as you mentioned, Carlton, there might be that religious prevention based on their beliefs to having sex, and so their commitment, for them, it is a commitment, and it is existing without sex. So there is that possibility too.
And again, I share that sentiment that you've just expressed, and I think it makes a lot of sense. It is one that might be very difficult for most people to identify with,
Mm-hmm,
particularly
mm-hmm,
our younger population.
mm-hmm.
Sex without
Right,
being in a
relationship without
relationship without
sex.
sex.
Yeah.
How does that work? Because most people will see it's actually the glue that keeps the relationship
Mm-hmm.
together. It's the way that you express the greatest gift that you can give to your partner in
Mm-hmm.
terms of,
And Carlton, we've had these discussions before, and I do agree that there is a high level of importance to physical intimacy within a relationship. And yes, we spoke, I remember, on a previous show about the selfless act of pleasing a partner or of satisfying a partner. That is very critical in a relationship as well. So, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. That is extremely important. I'm very aware that there are situations in which that might not be possible, or it might be prevented by some factor. I see we have a
yes,
caller on
we
the
do.
line.
Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm fine, thanks. My take on that, I think couples should wait. It takes a certain amount of spiritual discipline and self-control. The Bible says marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled. And this is a heterosexual relationship. I'm speaking of a man and a woman. And if you go all the way before you get married, you might as well say you're going on the moon. The honey is gone. Have a blessed day.
All right. Good morning, caller. Yes, and again, you will get different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll get different
She said you're
perspectives.
going on a moon. The honey is gone. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. Yeah, Carlton. So, there are different perspectives can come out of that. It's a very interesting question. And I think, it's very wide open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Trudy, what we're going to do, we have to switch gears a bit.
Yes.
We're going to take a break again, and then we'll be right back with our other segment of today's show.
Are you tired of using deodorants that soil up your clothing and just don't work? Introducing Babyliss Invincible Deodorant, made with all natural ingredients, including beeswax and arrowroot. Our deodorant is gentle on your skin while still providing long lasting protection against odor. Say goodbye to harsh chemicals and hello to all day freshness and confidence with Babyliss Invincible Deodorant. Try it now and experience the difference for yourself. Available at Jolly's Pharmacy.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollies.tm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.tm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.tm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.tm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
So we're back with you this morning. We are switching gears a bit, and we are going to talk a little about aphrodisiacs. They are, I have been a pharmacist for just about 25 years, and I can tell you that in the years that I have been a pharmacist, these particular products have always been big sellers.
Big sellers. But Carlton, you use it before you even go into that. You use it with aphrodisiac. If the listeners don't know what that word means, I know most people know what it is, but they might not know the proper
Yeah.
word. So an aphrodisiac, something that will increase somebody's sexual desire or possibly their sexual performance. So to increase that feel, that increase the libido, increase your sexual urge. And Carlton, you mentioned since you've been a pharmacist, it's been a big seller. Since I've been using the pharmacy or going to the pharmacy, it has always kind of intrigued me how people react to these products, how they might request it. Some people very timidly, some people very, boldly, yes, but definitely a lot of different reactions to aphrodisiacs and what's available on the market.
Yes. And most times when we look at aphrodisiacs, so we think of aphrodisiacs, we think of men. We think only of men and assume that it's only men that require or ask or may purchase aphrodisiacs. But women are as well purchasing aphrodisiacs. There are those that are available for women too. And women are becoming more liberal as well in terms of requesting sexual enhancers, sexual products that will enhance their libido as well. Aphrodisiacs have been around for many, many, many years. From food items, and people say food items, yes, food items. Yeah, there are some food items that act as aphrodisiacs, to as well medications and herbs as well. These help, or they've been claimed or believed to increase our sexual desires. Many times we find that when people talk about aphrodisiacs, they're talking about a product that may enhance their sexual desire, give them a bit more stamina, more virility, more poise, give them a bit more endurance during sexual activity. And oftentimes we think of all of these characterizations referring to the men. And yes, the statistics will show that more men purchase or desire or request these products, but they are also available
For
for
women,
women. And even at Jolly's, we have a very wide variety. Many of you would have been seeing the post of Hard On being advertised on Facebook.
I've never seen it.
Yes, Hard On is being advertised on Facebook.
So you have
a lot
it.
of people, yes.
Okay.
Jolly's is the agent for it.
For Hard On.
For
So
Hard On.
so if you're right, so to our listeners who are on listening on radio, of course we are also live on Q95 FM's Facebook page. So if you do have a Facebook account and you can log on and check out the show on Q95's Facebook page, Carlton has brought in some products that we will be discussing this morning, some aphrodisiacs, some sexual enhancers, some sexual enhancers, performance enhancers as well. So I'm very interested to see what products are available at Jolly's Pharmacy, and Carlton has brought them in. So if you're online, check out the show on Facebook.
Right. So basically, what do these products, what do they do for us? So you've been told, okay, your sex drive is a bit low, you need an aphrodisiac, you need something to enhance your sexual desire. You take it. Most of the times you may take it by mouth. How does it work? So basically, these products contain certain compounds that can affect your hormonal levels, inducing more blood flow into the area and also working on your neurotransmitters. So during sexual desires, our body releases more dopamine, which is the erotic
Feel good.
Hormone transmitter. We basically release more serotonin as well, which is another feel good
Relaxation type,
yes, neurotransmitter. And these neurotransmitters basically they help with giving us, if you're a male, a firmer erection. They help you to get more aroused, your different parts of your body get it more aroused. They help you to be more alert. They give you a bit more energy, endurance, uh, endurance to maintain and to keep an erection. Um, Endurance in terms of your ability to be able to have the energy for sexual desire, because it's one thing to want to have sex, it's another thing to not have the energy,
the capability,
right?
the
So you have
capacity.
to, that's it.
Yeah.
So you have to have that in order to be able to meet that threshold that you are desiring. So it helps with blood flow. It helps with increasing the good mood. The mood has to be present as well, and also gives you a bit more stimulation in the different parts of your body that requires stimulation. So for the women, the breasts, the thigh, the inner thigh, the vagina, the neck, all of these areas are erotic areas. Even the waistline, that would help with arousal. Now, a lot of people do require, or they may come to the pharmacy and would ask for an aphrodisiac and may not necessarily need it.
But okay, so how would somebody know? So that's an interesting question now. How do you
Yes.
know that you need some additional assistance with your sex drive or with your sexual desire or with your performance? How do you know that you need to purchase something?
That's a good question that you've asked.
Uh-huh.
All of us should know our body.
Mhm.
We should know how our body generally functions.
Mhm.
Let's suppose that over the past 2 months, you've had a very good, healthy sex life. You get up in the morning as a man, you have an erection, you go to pee, you're healthy, you are batting, as we would say, you're doing well. And then all of a sudden, you recognize that you see a decline. You seem to have not much of an interest in sex. Your body is not responding as it normally does, um, towards your significant other. So you're not feeling aroused. You're not feeling the desire for sex. One of the first things that we always recommend is a medical intervention. So you may want to do a complete checkup to see if there are any underlying factors that may be affecting you. So it could be, for example, diabetes, it could be high cholesterol, it could be another cardiovascular disease, it could be anything. So you want to rule out any underlying medical condition that may be affecting you.
Yes, actually, and mental health conditions
That's
as
it.
well.
Right, right.
You might be going through a depressive
Right.
episode, and that can affect your sex drive as well, your sexual desire as well.
Right. So we look at, yes, your psychosocial profile, your psychosocial life. What are you? How have you been? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Have you been doing it excessively? Are you in any other using any other recreational drugs?
Right.
What is your weight like? What type of foods are you consuming? Are you having sufficient rest? All right. Have you been stressed out lately?
Correct.
How have you been dealing with the stress? What is the environment that you're living in? Are you happy?
Right.
In the relationship that you are in, are you attracted to that person?
Good. So that's the other thing too, because it might be a relationship issue. It might not be a physical issue. It might be an emotional issue between you and the individual that you are. So right. So there are so many different factors, and I'm happy, Carlton, you mentioning all of these, because you are very correct in terms of people might run to purchase the aphrodisiac or the sexual enhancer, performance enhancer, without considering all these possibilities first.
And usually they are totally shocked when you have to ask them questions. They're like, no, I just found something, and and not recognize that, yes, we need to know all of these. We need to ask you questions. But I see we have a caller.
Yes.
Let's take this caller. Caller is still there. Caller, are you still there? All right. Let me just give the numbers: 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. And of course, you are welcome to make a contribution if you reside from overseas. That number is 305-432-9624. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning to you, Carlton.
Good morning.
Judy.
Good morning.
Are you there?
Yes, good morning, caller.
Yeah, good conversation. I wanted to be all ears, but when I heard you mention the aphrodisiac and what would warrant a person going for aphrodisiac, and when do you know that you need it? And then early on in the intervention, I think you or Trudy said that you're seeing an upsurge in the usage of it. And the reason for that is, I always coming back to, I'm a stock record, diet. Diet, my brother. And all the questions that you ask when you're screening that person, I want to say sometimes is all of the above. Yeah, because you have all these problems stemming from what? From a bad diet, hormonal issues, thyroid issues. All these things affect your sexuality or your sexual drive. The cardiovascular problems. All these problems lead to a bad diet. So when your diet is actually sugar and flour, in whatever form they come, we have serious problems. And that is the reason for aphrodisiac. But at the same time now, an aphrodisiac can cause more harm than good. And I'm saying that now. Imagine one has maybe let's say, a prostate problem. And you jump to the pharmacy and you pick up one of the products there. And one of these products now, rather than it gives you just that sexual enhancement, it also maybe creates pressure on your prostate, which is something that you don't want, and you're adding another problem there. Because let's say you have an inflamed prostate and you maybe go for an aphrodisiac that has an ingredient now that maybe even causes the prostate to be more inflamed. And you have no idea. But then you're depending on that as the solution. And then you can be taking aphrodisiacs to the point where they might not even work because of your cardiovascular problems and all the other health problems that you have. And you're shooting yourself in the foot in the process because you're taking something to enhance you, and then you have serious underlying issues that you're not dealing with. And I really want to work it back down to the diet. My brother, in this nature cut island of ours there, people eating too much sugar, too much carbohydrates, people eating too much, period. Great program. I want to be all ears. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I see we have another caller before we continue.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
We lost that
you.
caller.
Okay, feel free to call
Yes.
back again. Yes, feel free to call back. But what the caller was saying makes a lot of sense, and it comes back again to lifestyle. Lifestyle. So you want a healthy plant. You will nurture it. You will make sure it has its water. You will make sure that at times you may have to
nutrients, it's mineral, yeah.
So the very same thing, you have to weed around it. You want the same thing applies to the body. If you want your body to be strong and to be healthy, you want to protect it. But yes, you're going to say something.
No, I definitely agree, and there is a lot linked to lifestyle and lifestyle choices, diet, exercise, etc. There are some issues that are unlinked, hormonal issues, for instance, and we're talking a lot of Carlton, you mentioned men would be the primary consumers of the products we're referring to, or aphrodisiacs, but of course women.
Yes.
They are available for women too. For women, there might be certain hormonal changes occurring that might cause, a reduced sex drive as well. And what strikes me, for instance, is menopause. Somebody going through menopause might, experience a difference in sex drive. But what strikes me is that there is also this aspect that we haven't spoken about, where someone may think they require a product or require some assistance because they're comparing themselves to another person. So this happens a lot, and I think I want to put I want to maybe put my hand in fire a bit and say it happens with men more. This type of comparison thing, yes, in terms of performance. I see our producer is looking at me like I might be wrong, but I think that comparison thing happens a lot in the male circles. So people, I did this for this amount of time and that amount of time, and I did that and I did, and the other fella is like, what?
Yes.
And there is this macho thing associated with sexual performance. And so I think that now causes a lot of people to think that they should try some sort of enhancer because they're trying to live up to some sort of expectation that was put forward in some sort of conversation or some sort of group.
Yes. Let's take this caller and I'll comment on that. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, that's good. Trudy made a point there, and I want to agree. In terms of the comparing, and I think that stems. I have a lot of friends, and I can tell you that stems from even looking at a lot of porn. Yeah, where you figure out you're watching a guy in a porn scene and you see him there going for hours.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering why you're not going for hours. So you have to go and pick something to make you go for hours. And then you have the other part about it where even I like to talk about that part of it, the foreplay part of it, where men don't do a lot of foreplay and just want to go to the promised land. They don't last very long because if you can't operate on a drywall, I've always said that. And if you don't prepare the woman, if you don't prepare the woman, you yourself not even preparing yourself. Because the preparation is the foreplay is on both ends. Both of you all are preparing yourself for an act where the vagina is engorged, it is lubricated. You yourself have this pre-lubrication that is ready for penetration. And then if you're not doing that and you just want to just see a naked woman and enter her, there's no way you're going to have no fun sex or no long-lasting sex. It doesn't work that way. And that's where people even jump for the aphrodisiac and trying to figure out whether it's going to get you 10 so long or you're going to make how much hours because you take that. It's a misconception, is a false sense of security, it's a false sense of health on a whole. Because these things are not quick fixes. They are problems down the line. Have a good day.
Thank you. But we know that aphrodisiacs do work.
They
In
do.
many cases, they
They
do
do.
work. But again, what we don't want, what we would not want is for you to have to rely on it 24/7.
Right.
You understand? So I know that they do work, but we want you to maintain and adopt good healthy practices,
correct.
that you may not have to use them prematurely.
Yeah, or too frequently. I mean,
That's it.
we have to admit to Carlton, I can just use this analogy. I might look perfectly great and fine. Some people might prefer to see me without makeup on, but sometimes you want the enhancement of the look.
Yeah.
And so you might decide, I want to pretty up. And so I don't want to totally say that these things are not necessary. Some people might want a little enhancement at some times, but we're just saying the health is the predominant factor. And then this might just be a dressing, that you might want to use occasionally on top of it. So if we're discussing our different products, that is the concept behind it.
And we do have quite a number of them here in the studio.
Carlton,
that-
which one do you want to? Carlton, you mentioned the hard-on one. I was looking at it. I was looking at the ingredients. I see that it is something that is for male sexual stimulant. Says it will give long-lasting power and stamina and durable erections. And I noticed ginkgo biloba being one of the active ingredients in this product.
because of
And that-
vasodilator.
Yes, and of course, people would know ginkgo biloba as
From memory.
a natural herbal supplement. So very interesting, this one. And you said this one is
It's a very fast seller.
it's a fast seller.
It's a fast seller.
Okay.
So it contains actually 2 doses, 2 tablets in there, 2 doses. One pill, normally we recommend 1 pill to be taken at least an hour before sexual activity, not on an empty stomach. But again, even before these items can get into your mouth, we want to know a little more about you. So we want to make sure that you do not, for example, have had open heart surgery. There are certain medications that may be contraindicated to some of the active ingredients in this. So some of the blood pressure medicines that you may be on.
I was going to ask, is your blood pressure a consideration before you
Right.
purchase something like that?
Yes,
Of course.
You might be
Okay.
on anti-seizure medications as well. Some of the medicines that may be broken down by the liver. You may also have issues with some of these aphrodisiacs, taking them along with some of the medicines that you're on. So you need to know whether you're on medications, and also including, not just the synthetic medications, but also including herbal supplements.
Yes.
Other herbal supplements that you might be on as well. You might be using them as a dietary supplement, but some of them can interfere with the active ingredients in these aphrodisiacs.
Okay.
So hence the reason why it is important, if you are seeking an aphrodisiac, you may need it for really a good reason. You also want to be cognizant that they can interfere with some of your medications. Some of them can cause side effects. Some of them can cause adverse effects. And we want to know more about you before we can recommend them.
Okay. Carlton, I see you have 2 other products here which are similar, desensitizing sprays, both of them. And I noticed, well, this is not to be taken internally. This is an external
Yes.
product, usage product. And I don't know, you would consider this an aphrodisiac or just a sensation
It's-
delayer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's not an aphrodisiac per se, but
Mhm.
it falls in almost
Yeah,
like
this
that type of
sexual products.
Right.
Yeah, so I notice you have here
So
Eros
those-
spray
And
Stud 100 desensitizing spray for men. And I'm seeing the primary ingredient in both these is lidocaine,
yes.
which is an anesthetic essentially to numb.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And so this would actually cause a delay in ejaculation. This is the same active ingredient that you'd find if you use long love condoms. So if you use long love condoms or any other condom that has an active ingredient that may cause you to have a delay. So these products are also available too. And they're sprayed onto the genitalia of the male, and at least 5 minutes before, you would have to have an erection already, and then you spray it on to the shaft of the penis, and you would be able to last a bit longer to prevent. It's generally used to prevent premature ejaculation,
Right.
which is a condition that many men experience on a day-to-day basis.
I think an important thing to mention with this sort of product, this desensitizer or something to essentially reduce extreme sensation so that you can keep your erection for longer or keep your performance for longer, is that your partner, you need to consult to make sure there's no allergy
That's it.
that partner has to the product or the active ingredient in the product. So lidocaine being the active ingredient, and people can be allergic to just about anything.
That is very true.
It's just like some people are allergic to latex, which is the most common thing in condoms. Latex condoms are very common, and some people are allergic to latex. So for this product, the desensitizing spray, people have to ensure that their partner is not allergic to the ingredients in that spray, because of course that can cause a very uncomfortable situation for the partner.
And that's a good point that you've raised, and that's where the dialogue, the conversation,
Yes,
because sometimes most men, they don't want their partner
to know,
that
right?
they're
So you might go and hide and use that, and then next thing the lady has an allergy to the product.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important to have these discussions, and the very same thing applies to some of the aphrodisiacs that are available, where people hide. Their partner or their wife, their girlfriend, or whoever it is may not know, and they start, for example, they might start hyperventilating or end up having what they call tachycardia, where their heart begins to
Fast
race.
heartbeat.
Yes. And then the partner gets nervous, wondering what's happening, and not knowing that you would have taken something that can cause.
Right. So dialogue is very important.
So it's important.
It's important in relationships. It's important for sex. It's important if you're using any sort of sexual enhancer or performance enhancer as well. So I think, and in us having this conversation here on Health Vibes, possibly it could reduce some of the sort of fear that people may have about discussing these things with each other.
Right. And so I see we have a caller. Let's take this caller before. So we have two callers. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Carlton and Trudy.
Good morning to you.
How are you all doing?
We're doing quite well.
Before I make my point, I just want to say something. Trudy, with this debate you having with these young people, you see this surrender young man, Trudy, this man just have me going. I wonder what you'd want to be if he's a politician or something, but he's just good. Now to my point. As you're talking about the sexual thing, I was wondering, Carlton, just a thought. Have you all been approached probably by these schools, like secondary schools, or is it a thought from you? Or do you have that in your mind? Let me put it that way, that we could go to these schools and secondary schools, not primary, and then have some kind of discussions with them on, although they have they have their own program. But then you go to the secondary schools where we have our young people and talk to them about the sexual, just a sexual education talk. Because our young people, they're almost adults soon. It's just a thought that came to my mind. Have you ever considered that? I don't know.
We've done, we've visited a few schools, and I've done some sexual reproductive health discussions, particularly the government secondary schools, some of the Catholic secondary schools.
You've even been invited, Carlton, to the Dominica State College.
That's true. Yes. So the Catholic schools, we've had some restrictions in some of the areas of that we may want to discuss. But generally, we've done a few of those. Although our young people, that age group, I don't see them coming and ask for aphrodisiacs.
No, well, not. I guess she doesn't mean on this
Yes,
particular topic,
but
but just sexual health
yes,
on a
but
whole.
we do, yes,
Yeah,
we do.
and it's something that and I've always thought of doing a program, especially when I started, my women's health platform, something for young girls, teenage girls particularly, because oftentimes parents have difficulty in speaking to their young children, or not say young children, but their teenagers, about their sexual health, their reproductive health. And there are a lot of things that are critical for people to know early, so that they can chart up a proper path, in terms of their sexual and reproductive lives. So I've always felt of doing some sort of workshop, some sort of seminar geared towards young ladies in particular, because I know a lot of young ladies grow up with a lot of misconceptions about their own bodies and their own sexual health. So it's something, the caller mentioned, and I think it's, worthwhile. Maybe Jollies can partner with me sometime on doing something geared towards the young people. Just the young people.
Well, that's why we last year we had planned the sex symposium.
Right.
And then when we began having the electricity
outages,
we
correct.
had to postpone it, but it's not off the burner.
Yes.
So it's something definitely.
But Carlton, remember that was for adults.
Yes.
That was for adults. But we need to have something tailored to
the young
adults.
Yes,
okay, yeah. Yes,
but
Carlton.
we do have some good aphrodisiacs. I mean, that are available. Many people would know of ginseng, and ginseng has been around for many years, and it helps with the increase of blood flow to the genitalia. Maca is another popular one that is still available. You have Yohimbi, that is still there too. Damiana, that is there as well. You have honey goat weed.
What is that? Because when I see you brought in honey goat weed.
Yes.
Honey goat weed plus. And you have the maca as well. You have, let me see, something that is called Vein Erect with maca in there as well. But the honey goat weed, Carlton, I want you to tell me about this one.
So the honey goat weed, it has been around for many years. It's a flowering plant that has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries to treat various ailments, including that of sexual dysfunctions. It is believed to increase libido and improve erectile function by boosting blood flow and to the genitalia. So
okay.
it is one that has been around for many years. I think since I became a pharmacist, that has been around, and it is still available. It is still widely used, particularly by the older male adults. It is still widely used, and it is still available. Many of them, the mechanism of action are quite similar in terms of how they work and the benefit that they have for the body. Believe it or not, some people who are into sports also use these products to induce their energy levels.
Oh, okay.
Because in some
and
of
I guess
the
increased blood
professional
flow.
sports, some of these cannot be used because of the laws and so forth, but because of the increase in blood flow. Some of them cannot be used if you're a professional athlete. Let's say you're going to be in the Olympics or CARICOM games or something like that. But people who use the gym, average people, normal people who use the gym or who run, who exercise, these products also helps to give them a lot of energy and stamina. So besides being used for sex drive, it is also used to boost your energy levels and your blood flow to the body.
Okay, Carlton, I notice this one, Vein Erect, which has the Larginine and maca. This one is specifically for men. So the honey goat weed and the maca by itself did not specify it was only for men, but this one says it is only for men, and it is because so it is specifically a male enhancement product.
Again, because of the mechanism of action and which receptor this is going to work because
Okay.
this is primarily for the male reproductive system. This one would be, we talk about vein erect.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right,
this one
right.
definitely has an effect on the penis and giving you a more virile erection. Women do not get erection.
Right.
And so
So that's why it's so important. You see, I'm reading the back of the product. And for people who might just want to bypass the reading aspect, it's important to have a conversation with your pharmacist. You go into Jolly's, and these things are over-the-counter products.
They are over the counter.
Yeah, so you go into Jolly's pharmacy and you're interested in buying one of these supplements. A conversation would definitely assist you in choosing something that is correct for you, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. What is the correct product for you.
And when you do come, don't come and tell me that your boss is in the bus stop and you really don't have the time,
and you're rushing,
or you have a bus load of people and waiting on you. It's really important for us to have these discussions, because yes, these products are available. They are great products. They do wonders to most of us who use them. Doctors prescribe them from time to time as well. But it's important for us to do an entire evaluation to confirm whether you are the right candidate for these products. Because guess what? Maybe these products may not necessarily what you need. You might need something more potent, depending on your underlying condition. You may need to be on Cialis, you may need to be on some Viagra, you might need to be on something else. And the dose would also be determined by your healthcare provider based on what your medical conditions are, based on the pros and cons. So these products, they are useful. They are generally natural products. All of them are phyto products. They're plant-based products. But like any synthetic drugs, there are pros and there are cons. So some of these medicines, as I said, they work very well. But if you misuse them, you can end up having side effects. You could have racing heart, increased heart rates, increased pulse. Your pulse could be high. You could have a dizziness. If you misuse them, you can even have nosebleed. In some of them can even give you nosebleed. And so they are great, but you want to be cautious. You want to ensure that when you're using these products, that they are safe. We know what other medicines that you're on, because your situation might just be one that is caused by a medication.
right?
And all your doctor needs to do is to reevaluate you and take you off the medication
right.
and put you on something else. And by taking you off, you could actually find your drive is back, your erection is back, everything is working fine. So that's why it's important to have these discussions and not tell lies, because sometimes people tell you what they think you want to hear, but not necessarily the full truth. So they might tell you, well, I'm not taking no herbal supplements, but they're taking.
Right.
And so it's important to let us know. I see we have a caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Carlton.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
How are you doing? How are you doing? Long time, man.
I am doing quite well.
Okay. Okay. Quickly, let me ask you this question. You have a partner. Now, you is the kind of person that being romantic, but sometimes when you get to that partner, there is something about her that is maybe her body or something. You that kind of being you're not impressed, and then the message from the mind does not go well with your body, and sometimes you're not fulfilling what you're supposed to fulfill. And then it's like the woman on a whole would say that okay, she feel kind of disappointed. But some of your product, because from a man point of view too, man get disappointed in women as well. And I am of the opinion, and maybe my own opinion, one of the most deceiving thing in men sometimes is women, because I tell you, a woman could be looking so good, and it's like her looks get you with the zeal to go on towards her, and you want to get there, you want to know this, and by the time you get there, Carlton, you wonder in all the hard work you were doing, there is to get that disappointed. So I say all of that to ask, some of the product that you have, they will definitely get over your mindset, even if yes, you the partner, you want to please her, but she doesn't impress you. There is something about her that you're not being impressed about, and maybe you cannot get to where you want to there with a comfortable mindset. So you are saying that anytime you have some of those products, they will give you the zeal that you energize your mind and then to get you go, and you will not feel that way. That is one of my questions I wanted to put to you.
No, absolutely not.
But that's your boy there, but we'll see, man.
All right. No, that's not what we're saying at all.
At
Because
all.
what you're talking about is a communication intimacy issue that needs to be, rectified.
Oh,
There
yes.
needs to be, an honest conversation about the both of you and attractiveness. I know some people. I know that I have a friend of mine, and he likes his lady big, and if she's losing too much weight, he's not happy. And you find you have the other side where somebody prefers a thinner person. If she's putting on too much weight, then he feels that he's not attracted to it. So that's where the conversation has to be. And so what we're saying is that the aphrodisiacs, they do play a role. They're very vital, but then there needs to be conversations on all sides relating to them. We, the ones that will be recommending them to you, we need to know. We need to know a little more about you. Are you on blood pressure medications? Are you on antidepressants? Are you on blood thinners? Are your kidneys functioning properly? Are your blood is your liver functioning properly? Are you on any other medication that may be harsh to the liver, that if we were to give you any of these things can further put more strain on the liver? So all these things we need to know, and we want to explain to you. Are you on any other blood thinners? Because some of these, as Trudy said, it contains ginkgo biloba. Some of them contains some other active ingredient that act naturally as blood thinners as well. Like ginger and ginseng, they also act as blood thinners too. So these are things that we need to know before we recommend them.
Yes, Carlton, but the caller is bringing up, well, your response is spot on, but I just want to add, this concept of disappointment. So if you are considering a sexual enhancer, an aphrodisiac or whatever, to eliminate disappointment in your partner, and you have not had a conversation with said partner as to what would please you, because sometimes what we think is the disappointing factor is not that's disappointing the person at all.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes men could think that it is the length of the journey or the amount of energy or impact of the thrust, and that might not be what is the dissatisfaction factor for the female at all. It might be a lack of a previous caller mentioned foreplay. It might be a lack of intimacy and affirmation. What are you saying to the person, making them feel good? Is that there? So sometimes our concept of what is disappointing to a person might not be what's disappointing to them. And so conversation and open communication is so critical in this whole, sexual interaction, what we're talking about this morning.
I think as a female, I'm glad that you brought that perspective, because a lot of times, we look at it from, am I doing? But for example, do you communicate? Is it just, let's take this call. I see we have a caller there. Let's see. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good day.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Very well.
Am I on the program going on right now?
Yes, you are live.
You're live.
Okay, Carlton and your co-worker. I am contributing for the very first time. I don't really
Well, welcome.
call in, but the program is so appealing, so then I had to call.
Nice.
One thing I can say, some things I can say is that we can create our own aphrodisiac. So one of the way we can do it is by planning. You plan. You understand? And then with that planning comes preparation. You prepare. So when you prepare the room or wherever, then you create the atmosphere. When you create that atmosphere now, you make it even more appealing to the opposite sex, your partner. You tease them. You tease them, and you can go as far as telling the person, especially for the ladies, you can tell the man or the man, your husband, what you might be wearing at that time. You understand? You can put a little note in their pocket. When they read that, they already, want to go. And then one thing that can prevent it as well is the hygiene. You have to prepare yourself. It's like you both are going to travel. You are going overseas and you want to be safe. You're going out to the beach to have a good time. You want to reach there together. So then both of you have to do what you all have to do to allow that safe journey. If the man, because most times you find the men are more anxious, they can just go. You can hold him back. You should have your own way of holding him back. You understand? Because you know how you're going to hold him back. You are going too fast. I'm not. I don't have that speed you have. I want you to delay. So you kind of delay him back so that you both can get there together.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good points.
Yes.
I think the women are expressing themselves.
Yes,
and I like
yes,
that.
definitely.
I think many of us can learn from them. Maybe to do better.
And that's why I said the communication is so critical, because you see what a woman is thinking of. A man might never be thinking of that. And I can tell you just from how the caller just expressed herself, in terms of planning, preparing, setting the mood, setting the tone. I have read, and I have, it was something very interesting that, there are people who their sexual, what is their, I can't remember what is the term, but basically what is important, I will just paraphrase, what is important to them for the sexual act is different. So for some people, it's a visual thing. For some people, it's a smell. For some people, it is a setting, like
a sound.
Right, a sound, right. So people are different. And so if you don't communicate with your partner who it is you're going to be engaging in the sexual act with, to understand what it is that is their key factor, then, it's like you're at a dead end, So a person might want a nice romantic setting, and you there just thinking what the person is interested in is length of performance. The person wants music and candles, and you there on a totally different wavelength, So the communication is definitely key.
Very, very good. So if you're looking for these products, the Vein Erect that is available, you can get it at Jolly's Pharmacy, any of the branches. The honey goat weed is available as well. The maca, that one is available too. All of the products are available at Jolly's Pharmacy. So if you're looking for a product, you may want to enhance your sexual prowess. You may know that you're safe, but because maybe you're climbing in age, you're about 55.
We should have spoken about aging. We can maybe have a whole show about that, because aging is a factor.
It is a factor.
Aging is a factor.
You're aging, the testosterone levels
It's
begin to
drop.
That too. So you may be a suitable candidate for a product like that. And don't feel afraid to come and ask a question or to inquire about these products if you need it. They are available. The technical support is there, and so we are always willing to give you all of the support that you require and all of the information that you need as it relates to these products.
But Carlton, the last thing, because we have to wrap up, but the last question I had though, all these things that we have showcased this morning are over the counter,
They're
right?
over the counter.
But there are prescription medications
Yes,
that exist
there are
for the
prescription
purposes that
medication.
we've discussed.
Definitely.
Okay.
So there are prescription medicines as well.
Okay.
That are available. We also have the enhanced capsules too, which is very, very, very popular, extremely popular. That does the same thing too. And so they are available for our men. We believe that some of these products too work well with women. We've had a few women that have said, these products, when I use it, I have felt a particular way, and they have helped me very well too. So the important thing is to having the discussion and being comfortable about the discussion, being comfortable to have the discussion. If you feel that your sex drive is getting low, if you feel that you're seeing differences in that area of yours, feel free to stop by and have a conversation with us.
Yes.
It is now 11:32, and we are just about out of time.
Yes.
It was a pleasure again being here with you for yet another episode of Health Vibes. Hopefully, next week we'll be back with another very informative topic as we try to bring relatively pertinent topics that meet that particular need that you have. So from all of us here on QFM, as always, your health is indeed your greatest resource. Preserve it. Have a good morning, everybody. Have a good remainder of the week. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Are you tired of using deodorants that soil up your clothing and just don't work? Introducing Babyliss Invincible Deodorant, made with all natural ingredients, including beeswax and arrowroot. Our deodorant is gentle on your skin while still providing long-lasting protection against odor. Say goodbye to harsh chemicals and hello to all-day freshness and confidence with Babyliss Invincible Deodorant. Try it now and experience the difference for yourself. Available at Jolly's Pharmacy.
Easy Rock 95.1. More rock, less talk while you work. The latest soft rock, hit after hit. Tune into Easy Rock 95.1, the best mid-morning show in the right here on Q95, the big station. Advertise where everyone's listening. Advertise on Q95 today. Get more bang for your buck. Talk shows, news, sports, music shows, entertainment events, weekend shows, Newsweek reviews, early morning shows, evening and daytime shows, hot tips on health, nutrition, security, traffic, weather, environment, and more. Place your display banners on the Q95 website, www.q95da.com, with live links to your own website. Advertise on Q95, your one-stop shop for audio and video streaming, breaking news, sports, and entertainment. Advertise on Q95. Get value for your money. Call 767-448-5822 today. The big station. Easy Rock 95.1. More rock, less talk while you work. The latest soft rock, hit after hit. Tune into Easy Rock 95.1, the best mid-morning show in the right here on Q95, the big station.